All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to unpack an absolutely legendary conversation to get to the bottom of one simple question. How did the modern AI era actually get built? I'm talking about a story that has it all. A wild, high-stakes casino auction, a $50 million bet on an idea nobody was sure would work, and, a warning that still sends shivers down the spine of Silicon Valley. And boom! Let's just start right there. This quote from the Godfather of AI himself, Geoffrey Hinton. It's not subtle, is it? It perfectly sets the stage for what we're talking about today. Because this isn't just a nerdy story about algorithms. No, this is a super high-stakes drama about vision, about taking huge risks, and about the invisible infrastructure that is, right now, shaping all of our future. So, we're diving deep into this incredible conversation between Hinton and Jeff Dean from Google, and we're going to pull out what might be one of the biggest lessons in all of tech history, and it's this. A brilliant, visionary idea, it's basically useless, completely powerless, if you don't have the actual stuff, the infrastructure, to make it a reality.
Okay, let's rewind. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning, to that one big aha moment, the epiphany that really kicked off the entire AI revolution.
So check this out. We're talking way back in the late 80s, and Hinton already sees it. He realizes that if you throw more computed speech models, they just get better. Then, right around the same time, you've got Jeff Dean, still an undergrad, writing his thesis on parallel training for neural nets. It's amazing, right? They both have the exact same thought. Scale is the key. Scale is the secret sauce. The only tiny problem was, the hardware to actually do it, it just wasn't there yet. They were literally dreaming of a future that the technology of the day couldn't even begin to handle.
And that brings us to this simple but incredibly powerful law. This formula you see here, bigger models plus more data plus more compute equals better results. What's so wild is just how simple it is. This became the guiding principle for the entire field. It was more than a formula. It was like a mantra, almost a religion. This was the North Star that literally everyone started following.
And if you want proof, look no further than the AlexNet Breakthrough in 2012. This is where it all came together. And this wasn't some fancy billion-dollar corporate lab. No way. This was two of Hinton's students in a bedroom training their model on a couple of gaming GPUs. They took that scaling law, cobbled together some hardware, and just blew the doors off the ImageNet competition. They won by such a huge margin that it completely shocked the entire research community. The experts were just stunned. Oh, and get this. This is my favorite part. Right before this world-changing moment, they applied for a grant. And the official response from the referee was, and I'm quoting here, "There was no possibility of this ever having industrial impact." Can you believe that? The experts completely missed it. It's just a perfect, almost painful reminder how the establishment can be totally blind to the next big thing. So while that's all happening in a bedroom, a very, very different story is unfolding over at Google. Jeff Dean, he sees what's coming. He sees the future. So he walks into the CFO's office in 2013 and somehow convinces him to spend $50 million on custom-built AI chips.
And these chips were the TPUs, or tensor processing units. See, Dean knew that if you're going to scale AI for literally billions of people, you can't just buy hardware off the shelf. It's not going to cut it. You have to build the future yourself. And that's what this was. A completely visionary bet on infrastructure, years before they even fully knew what they were going to do with it. The software wasn't even close to being ready.
Okay, so if you thought it couldn't get any wilder, buckle up. Because now we get to the casino auction. After AlexNet blew everyone's minds, Hinton decides it's time to sell his little research company. And, well, the way he goes about it is not exactly standard procedure.
Yeah, this was not your typical boardroom M&A deal. He sets up a shell company and holds an actual auction at a conference inside a Lake Tahoe casino. You have to picture this. Downstairs, you've got the sounds of slot machines paying out, and upstairs, tech giants are bidding millions for his team. And then Hinton himself actually games the auction, stopping it right when another company is about to win. Why? Because it wasn't just about the cash. He wanted to be at Google. He knew they had the culture and, crucially, the infrastructure to really let his team's ideas fly.
So, Hinton finds the perfect home for his ideas. But this whole story brings up a really important question, right? Not everybody sees the future coming. And that leads us to a really powerful warning, a cautionary tale for any company that thinks it's invincible. Just try to wrap your head around this. At the absolute peak of BlackBerry's dominance, Geoffrey Hinton, the guy who would later win a Nobel Prize for this stuff, offers them his revolutionary speech recognition tech. For free. He literally suggested that one of his students could just pop over for an internship and build it for them.
And what did BlackBerry say? We weren't interested. We have a keyboard. And that right there is the crucial point. They said no. Their entire world, their entire infrastructure was built around that physical keyboard, and it completely blinded them to the next massive shift in technology. It's just one of the biggest what-ifs in the history of tech.
So naturally, this whole story makes you wonder, doesn't it? It forces us to ask a really tough question. What is today's BlackBerry moment? What's the huge technological leap that the big, dominant companies are completely missing right now? What's the keyboard they're all clinging to, while some tiny team in a bedroom is building the future?
And all of this brings us right back to the present, and to the future, where the stakes are, frankly, higher than they've ever been.
And this is so fascinating. You have the two pioneers who started this whole thing, and now they're looking at the future from two totally different perspectives. You've got Jeff Dean, the builder, the optimist. He sees this amazing new age of scientific discovery. He talks about AI as an analogy engine, something that can find connections between like ancient Greek literature and quantum mechanics to solve problems we can't even imagine. But then you have Geoffrey Hinton. He sees that same exact power, and he's sounding the alarm. He's warning that our societal infrastructure, our politics, our economy is nowhere near ready for the chaos this will cause. For Hinton, the real danger isn't that the AI will go haywire. The real danger is that it will work perfectly.
And really, this kind of sums up the entire journey, doesn't it? For the last few decades, the massive, monumental challenge was all about building the infrastructure for scale, for pure computational power. We've pretty much cracked that code. But the next great challenge? Well, that's building the infrastructure for conscience. It's a totally different kind of problem, and it's a human one.
So this incredible conversation leaves us with a really big question, and it's not a question for them anymore. It's for us. We just saw how these huge, visionary bets on infrastructure literally built the world we live in today. So, what's next? If raw compute was the infrastructure of the last decade, what are the essential systems, the technical, the ethical, the societal systems that we need to start building right now to make sure we actually get that happily ever after ending Hinton was talking about?